Oh, did he get through? Even if he gets past that guy, he still has to pass other enforcers and officers. No, he didn't get through. Captured. That guy with the blue bike thought he could hide. What do they call it? Patinquero? I might be pronouncing that wrong, I'm sorry. In the past, people have said, oh, that's not the right way to stop a bike. You should do it like this, or just let it go and write out the plate. If they let people go without trying to make an effort to stop them, every single rider will run away from them every day. And like I mentioned earlier, there's a lot of vehicles driving around with fake plates, especially the improvised ones, because you can write anything on that plate number. Sometimes what they'll say is, oh, I'm just writing the line or the lane, but really it's the bus lane. Whoops, lady rider. She's in the queue. She's in the queue for a ticket. Just like Jollibee, you have to line up and wait. This one might get hit with a lot more violations because he also has the helmet that doesn't have ICC or PS mark. And I'm sure there's going to be some people who say, how about this rider, how about that rider, you didn't show him being ticketed, that one being ticketed. Some of the riders are being pulled off to the side and ticketed by other officers or enforcers. So I can't capture them all. I don't want to run back and forth from the highway, it's too dangerous. Exclusive bus lane, and then they'll be upset once they get caught. You see how they're all moving over now because they know the enforcers are up ahead. Now I know some people are going to say, how about the Ferrari? Well, actually, aside from issuing a ticket to the Ferrari, they suspended his license for 3 months. None of these drivers are having their license suspended. They're only having a penalty ticket. It's like a non-stop camote fest for the LTO officer. Now there are some exemptions. For example, ambulances, emergency vehicles like fire trucks are also allowed to use the bus lane. One more rider being flagged down. And before you say you're only apprehending motorcycles, they also captured that car. There was actually someone complaining on one of my posts recently saying, hey, we're just small, why don't you let us use the bus lane? Why do commuters get special treatment? And I tried to explain to him, the buses only have one lane. You can use every other lane. And each bus is carrying up to 50 people. That is very, very efficient. If they do not enforce the bus lane, it will be full of motorcycles. It will be full of cars. And the exclusive bus lane will be useless and commuters will lose out again. What's that? Grab or? Suddenly the signal light changes. Really what happens when they see enforcers. The thing is, when they put barriers on the bus lane, people complain and say, hey, remove them, they're too dangerous. Even though many of the accidents with barriers are with drunk drivers or drivers that fell asleep. When there's no barriers, this is what you have. Motorcycles, cars, mostly motorcycles, they use it as a VIP express lane. The LTO is running now because I saw him, he made eye contact with the LTO officer, swerved out the bus lane, but he was captured. In the past, some people commented, why don't you put an enforcer at the start of the bus lane and then wave people away so they don't use it? That's what they did before. And as soon as a rider gets past the enforcer, he goes immediately back into the bus lane. You might wonder, why do they make them take the license out of the holder? The reason for that is people sometimes put money there, and then if the enforcer opens the wallet and the money falls out, someone might say, hey, look, you're trying to take money. Come into my arms. That's the thing. If you drop something on Edsa, you better look first. Because if you aren't very careful, you can get hit. This is a dangerous road. Even the street sweeper has to be in the middle of EDSA because the vagrants often leave their garbage in the center island. So it's also dangerous for them. I'm sure some people might say, if it's so dangerous, why don't you do non-contact against the plate number? I can give you two reasons. Firstly, there's a TRO from the Supreme Court against non-contact. Secondly, consider what happened before. The MMDA captured a big bike in the bus lane. It had an improvised license plate on the back, but that license plate actually traced back to a small bike, completely unrelated. So sometimes people are just using fake plates. That's the reality. What's worrying is the number of motorcycle taxis you see being apprehended, even with a passenger. So they're risking themselves, they're risking their passenger, and they hold professional driver's licenses. They're like mushrooms, they just pop up. That's why they get hit by the buses. Oh, there's a bike here that's trying to hide. I saw him weaving between the lanes. It's really hard to have a bus lane operation because riders will try and evade you. It's really hard, and it's dangerous because there's a lot of vehicles moving around you and you have to hope that you don't get hit. They do have some mama da here to assist, although primarily the MMDA are here for traffic management. They saw the rider, but he's doing the hide and seek game. Let's see, did they capture him? I actually saw one time, this was, I don't know, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, a rider turned around and tried to counterflow on EDSA. It was crazy. See all the bikes hanging around behind the ambulances. And then once they see enforcers, whoops, I won't use the bus lane anymore. And this is what you'll see more and more often. The EDSA busway buses upgraded to have doors on both sides. A lot of people have been asking about that, and it is becoming more common. So more convenient for commuters. Basically, they can get on and off faster.